What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to the studio. Now, in the last video I told you about my Santa Maria tank, and there was a female in there with a really dodgy looking back and looked kind of very sick, to be honest. Now, I said I was going to potentially try and keep it alive and see if it made a recovery. Almost all of you were convinced that there was a serious problem, or old age, one or the other, maybe an infection of some description. So the humane thing to do was to put it to sleep. So when you keep enough fish, sometimes these things happen, but the good news is that all the other fish in the tank are doing really, really well. I mean, this female look perfect shape. There's lots of babies as well. All of them look healthy, and the males are looking really healthy as well. Now, one of the problems was that we didn't know what was wrong with the fish. Some people think it could be old age. Other people are saying it could be like fish TB. You know, if that fish died and all the others started eating at it, it could just completely infect the tank and they'd all be going. It was definitely the right call, and we've got a ton of other babies, so life goes on for this breed of fish. So this is one of the babies, and you can see already the coloration is coming through. So I think this one's probably a couple of months old, which is awesome because I was hoping to get some males, and that is obviously a male. And as you can see, look, quite a lot smaller than its dad, or possibly one of its dads. But hopefully I can keep these guys breeding, and eventually I could have a massive, massive tank. I'll do like a realistic biotope style. I mean, this isn't too far off, but we can do something on a bigger scale with a lot more of them. I think that'll be really, really cool. If we look up here at this female, she's carrying eggs. You can see the dark patch there. So she'll be having babies again soon. And likewise for this female as well. So yeah, there's gonna be so many babies in there. So it's now the next day since I planted and added the rocket killifish to this new tank. Now, as you can see, there's a slight bit of clouding. That is probably due to the fact I put a bit too much beneficial bacteria in, and then there isn't enough food for it, so some of it's dying off. It's just finding its balance. Now, as always, I will test the water now just to make sure there's no ammonia or nitrite, and if there's not, just leave it and it will just do its own thing. So yeah, as suspected, no signs of any ammonia or nitrite. So the cloudiness is purely just bacteria die-off. It's probably some stuff from the plants and the additional stuff that I put in, but at least we know we're fully covered. Now, I came in this morning and one of the killifish was laying down here. It only just happened. I think it got spooked by the lights coming on, but it did mean the water level was just too high. So it was up there. I've lowered it to here. I'd like to lower it a little bit further, but the problem is that the filter at the back then creates like a waterfall, and it just hammers all the plants underneath it. So I'm going to create a little lip out of a plastic bottle that just scoops over the edge and brings it back to the surface. Easy enough to do. You just take a plastic bottle and just cut off this bottom section. And the base as well. And then cut it down the middle. So you've got like an open tube, and then maybe just over half of it I'm going to need. And you've got your scoop there, and all you've got to do is fold it back on itself, and that creates the lip. There we go. And then I should just be able to slot it in. Oh, it's a little bit tight, but that's also good. This one's going to need a double fold. Moulding it around the lip of the aquarium there. And there we go, look, the water's all still flowing out, but in the back there, it's just flicking straight upwards and not hammering at all those stem plants, which means they'll just grow nice and straight rather than all sort of twisted up together. I'm gonna take a couple more scoops of water out though, just to be sure. Push the snails back in, and then just clean up the lip. And then the lid can go back on. There we go. Now the tank obviously looks a bit nicer when it's full up, but I don't really want to take the risk, especially with these guys being in their new home. They're not even sort of settled yet, so just keep it like that for a bit. I can put it up a little bit more once they're more settled and completely used to this tank as their own new home. So I'm doing some upgrades to the studio, and for that I've got a ton of stuff out here, and we've got a new tank to set up, so I've got all the equipment for that as well. Well, almost all the equipment. So I've got 3 of these really cool lights here, and this is going to be going on the tank here that's going to be the Mbuna tank, and I want 3 spotlights. And we've also got the substrate as well. So down here it's like this real nice sand. It's not too fine. It's got a really good texture. It's light coloured as well, so that should look really good in there. I brought in some more shelves as well to put up on some of the walls. Doesn't really need it, but I'm going to put one there anyway. Also a level. This was £30, so like $40, and it basically gives you a perfect straight line and a crosshair, so you cannot put stuff up wrong. Now, I don't know about you, but when I'm at home and I put up pictures or shelving or anything like that, me and my wife always argue if it's straight or not. So I got this level, and she cannot argue anymore. Like, that is straight, and I can't be wrong either, so we both win. And I'm sure the shelf hanging and the picture straightness is a universal argument between couples, so yeah, really good little investment. I have also got a new lens for my camera. So this lens is a 50mm with an f-stop of 1.8, and that basically means, I'll put up some shots over the top of this because this isn't very interesting to look at, but it means we can get really nice pictures of the fish with that solid blurred background, but they pop right in the foreground. So yeah, little investment, but I think it's going to be worth it for those close-up shots. So I'm next to Timmy's new tank that we're building. Now, in the last vlog I said a couple of vlogs ago, I said I was going to put cocoa fibre all over the background, but I'm worried it's just going to make the bogwood just like blend straight in, so we won't have any contrast. So instead, I've come up with another solution. So I'm going to be carving all of the dog poo at the back, so it's got more of a smooth finish and giving it a rocky sort of roughy texture. And then on top of that, I've got this, which is rapid setting cement. It's a powder. You mix it with water, sticks and sand, some little bits of gravel and things like that, and just basically paint it on. Now, because it's such a thin layer, it won't leach into the water. It might do for the first fill up, quick water change. It's not like when I had those concrete bricks before and that just constantly leached. This is just a tiny thin little layer and all will be good. I've done it before actually. It was one of the first fish tanks I ever did. I never filmed it back then, but yeah, it worked so well. And I've also got this. What is this, you ask? So it's like a cable tidy. Why do I need that? So recently I built this superfish tank for my rocket killifish. Slightest of hazes. Every day that goes by now that gets better. It's just some bacteria die-off where I put a ton in to start with just to make sure everything was good. But I really, really like having this on that table. But the current problem, obviously, we've got an extension lead running across the floor. So I've got that cable tidy to go all the way across this section. And what that means then, we've just got a nice little sort of ramp over it for cleaning and non-trip. Then I can align a load of plug sockets all the way along the bottom of this, so it's all tidy. And then I can have lots of nanos in this section, which I think is going to look great. At the moment, it doesn't look great because of this whiteness. And when you try and film, you get like a nasty glare going all over the glass. So I've got some black boards that I'm going to lay all the way across the top. That'll be perfect, easy to wipe as well. Because I just love the idea of being able to come in here and we've just got a row of nanos. I can look after the nanos so much better when they're on a bench, because when they're in these sort of racking systems, it's really sort of difficult to get into and get stuff done and clean, and they're not being looked after as well as I'd like to. So I'm going to swap out some of the racks for more bench styles for the nanos to sit on. But then I lose the working surface area, don't I? Because this is a really good bench, like literally I've just used it then, haven't I? So what can I do instead? Well, I'm going to build a nice wooden cart, if you like, a big one. I can just wheel around the studio. I can actually have it right next to whatever tank I'm working on as well then. When it's not in use, just tuck it in one of the little alleyways or whatever. You may have noticed this tank then when I panned to this whole racking system. Now what's going on with it? It's an absolute algae fest, but we don't just show our successes on the channel like this one. I also show you when things don't go quite right. Now this was set up like 9 or 10 months ago. And I used topsoil. It was my first going back to ecosystem style with no filter experiment, and it worked for a really, really long time. But the nutrients in topsoil was not massive, so it used them up very quickly, to be honest. Like within 6 months, I'd say, the plants stopped growing. And what does that mean? Well, they're still growing, but like incredibly slowly, which means the algae can take over because there's enough nutrients. Not heavily stocked, but yeah, there's obviously enough in there for the algae to keep growing. Now, I've just sort of left it. It's quite a cool look, to be honest. It's a very, very natural ecosystem in there. There's going to be so much microfauna for all the fish. We've got various different sort of rice fish in there. It's quite dark underneath, but and we've got golden barbs as well. They're They've just gone to the back there, they got scared of me, but yeah, so since doing that one, I moved on to using the aquatic compost and a lot more nutrients in that substrate layer. And now this one's been running 6 months, still looking perfect, and it's not showing any signs of slowing up. And again, the same system in this tank, and yeah, it's working perfect now. So I would say using topsoil is a good option, but be aware that you're gonna have to keep putting root tabs and things like that in. I just didn't bother because I knew I'd be taking it down at some point, which I now am because the whole rack's coming down. I feel like I want to do another 4 foot just as you enter. Don't worry, I'm still having nanos, like I say, they're all going to be across the bench. And we've also got this full rack over here that's going to be nanos too. I mean, not that this one is a nano, but you get what I'm saying. But yeah, I'm going to get one of these shelves up. I think I want more plants on it, to be honest. So these are some artwork that my children made for me like many years ago. I mean, this one from Jacob when he was aged 5, he's nearly 9. And then this one from Henry when he was 4, he's nearly 7 now. So now I know they don't really go with like the color scheme or anything, but I don't care. I absolutely love them, and yeah, it makes me smile every time I see them. Oh, and also if you remember about 3 months ago, me and Kate, we went out, we got all these plants that you can see dotted around the sort of outside of the studio, and everyone was saying the same thing, even I was thinking the same thing, they're gonna die. But guess what? They are all still alive and doing really well. I mean, this Monstera, look, is actually growing all the way across all of this, and I think that's really cool. I'm just gonna keep that going eventually, hopefully just train it all the way out that way. I mean, I tell a lie, this is the only one that's struggling. It's ironic really, it's right next to the tap and I see it all the time, and it's the one I forget about the most. You can see it's gone a little bit crispy at the bottom here, but it's coming back, it's all moist now. You can see some nice good leaves. It should be absolutely fine. So my ender tank is currently going through a bit of a weird phase. It's really, really misty, as you can see. So a few days ago, I took out some floating plants because they were like just covering the surface. I think I took out a few too many. I've only left like 1 or 2 just because of how fast they grow back. But as a result, it's sort of shocked the tank. Now, don't forget that this is a full-on ecosystem tank. There is nothing in there but plants, water, fish, and obviously the substrate system as well. Now, these type of aquariums are some of the hardest to get balanced. Not gonna lie, the plants, they do all the work. And I'm not entirely sure why we've got this slight haze, because surely the bacteria isn't dying off in there. There's no reason for it to, because all the fish are the same. All I've done is remove some of the floating plants. So the salvinia that you can see there, it was just everywhere, all over the top. You couldn't see into the tank. Well, you could see into the tank, that's a bit of exaggeration, but it was quite dark, and now it's sort of lightened it all up. It will balance out, so if you guys do get this in your no-filter aquariums, do not panic. I reckon within the next couple of days, it'll be back to being clear again. I mean, the salvinia will just grow back as it does, and I think it will just clear itself. I mean, I'll keep you informed, obviously, if it doesn't, but yeah, I'm expecting it to. This doesn't usually happen, so I think I just made too much of a big change. So there's a lesson there. Don't change too much too quickly, even in an established aquarium, because this is like full on established now. There's actually many, many generations of fish in here as well. You can see some of the babies just dotted about, you know, zooming around. And then this one here is actually like a teen, if you like. And then we've got adult females as well. So yeah, every generation. I absolutely love this tank. A bit of a mess, and it's that jungle style, but you just don't do anything to it, or you do something and you mess it up. And speaking of weird things happening in tanks, this is my rose-tailed guppy tank. Now, all the males, they've died off. I've got no idea why. All the females are good, and even all the chili restorers as well, doing absolutely fine. The tank's like flourishing. We've even got babies as well. I've got no idea why the males died, and that every other fish is completely healthy. Why the males? Yeah, it's a little bit gutting, but the good thing is that the females are carrying babies right now. Both of the two in the front, there's one at the back as well. That one's got babies, so we should get more to come, which I suppose is some kind of light at the end of the cloud in the silver. You know the saying. That said, I'm loving the tank. We've got this like nice open foreground chunk there, and then everything's growing towards the surface. We've got stuff coming out the top, which Kate will no doubt just come and destroy as soon as possible. She doesn't like the plants coming out the top. I don't know why, I do. But that said, I'm glad she does it because she keeps on top of it. If it was left to me, it would just be a mess, wouldn't it? Well, there we go. There's a really nice chili restorer right in that foreground section. Really vibrant in this tank as well. And that's because I'm using the Twin Star lighting, version 3, I think, and it just does make colours pop so well. It makes plants grow well as well. Not cheap, like one of the most expensive lights, to be honest, other than the ADA stuff, but you do get quality growth, and your tanks do look amazing. If you're looking at that Pinnatifida leaf, the one coming out the top there is pink. So Pinnatifida will go pink under the right lighting conditions, like quite high lighting. It stays kind of green in low light tanks. I also planted some dwarf sage at the back, which is now creeping its way into the foreground. I don't mind a few tufts, but we don't want any more than that, thanks, otherwise it's going to end up looking just like the rainbow tank, which I don't mind because that's what I want for this tank, this style. You know, it's an easy carpeting plant and looks fantastic, but we don't want it in every tank, do we? Or they'll just look the same, well, even more the same than just rocks and wood and that. So that is the end of this update vlog. Make sure you like, subscribe and everything. I've got loads of big projects coming, some really cool ones, little ones, bowls, everything. So yeah, see you in the next one.